create a daily routine. What I do and what's worked for us is you're not unique by having negative self-beliefs. Everyone does. When it comes to a growth mindset, don't think for a second that you know it all, that you can't improve. You have to expand your knowledge and learning around things that you want to get better at. And I want to give you the top 10 reasons people tend to put off actions and the disciplines required to fix it. Number one is
time to get fired up. Yeah, I'm getting fired up.
your thoughts can become plans, plans can become actions, and actions become a reality. We share powerful stories and simple steps to fast track your business and personal growth. Are you ready to make it happen? Let's get fired up. Why do we avoid taking action? How often have you found yourself in the familiar grip of procrastination, trapped in the cycle of delay despite knowing that action is the key to progress? In this episode, we're going to dive deep into the psychology behind why we avoid taking action, unraveling the intricate web of excuses, fears, and uncertainties that hold us back from taking control of our lives. Stick around as we uncover the secrets to break free from these limitations. And in this episode, you'll get 10 actionable steps and new solutions to redirect these roadblocks. I promise you that by applying these adjustments, you'll start to get the momentum that will turn you into a snowball of progression. Here's the problem. We think we've got time, and we don't. What happens with procrastination is that we continually put it off because we're like, I can do that later. One of the things that I've been thinking about recently, as morbid as this may sound, is death. We are ultimately going to end up in the same place. And before we get there, we get old and some of our limitations and abilities start to decline. So there is no reason that we shouldn't put things off. And I think that we put them off because of, what was spoken about in other episodes. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There are some real simple ways that a lot of people will talk about and preach on how to actually start making this adjustment. So, why do we avoid taking action? Procrastination and avoidance in addressing life's challenges are common. People often have various reasons for this behavior, and I want to give you the top 10 reasons people tend to put off actions and the disciplines required to fix it. So, number one is the fear of failure. It literally is, whether that is an exercise routine, a new diet, a new business, talking to that girl at the bar, making the book, doing anything is like, what if it doesn't work out? And you just need to not be concerned about that or change the story in your head from what if this doesn't work out to what if it does? Many people worry about not succeeding, so they're avoiding starting. They avoid starting tasks that seem daunting or difficult. The fear of not meeting expectations, it can be paralyzing. So that's number one. Accept it. There is a strong fear of failure. But I've said before, and I really like this, and you should too, to get confidence, you need to take action. You are not going to have confidence before you take action. So get that in the right order. Don't be scared of failure. Failure is a step in the right direction. Fail as much as you possibly can by swinging the bat and trying. I'll talk about this a little bit further in the episode, but the best way not to fail something is actually not to make the task too big. So I break things down into sizable chunks that can be achieved easily because now I'm not failing. 5-minute walk this morning, you can do it, anyone can do it, grandma can do it. Go do the 5-minute walk. Now you go, oh, okay, I didn't fail that. I ticked it off. And then what happens over doing that process consistently and daily is over time, that 5-minute walk turns into a 20-minute walk, turns into a 2K run, turns into 5K run. You get the snowball of progression. It applies to everything. Number two, lack of motivation. I don't really like the term motivation because it is basically, am I motivated or am I not? I like discipline because discipline gets you to do something when you're not motivated. It's raining outside. I've got no customers. I don't feel like it today. I've got other shit going on. The discipline actually says, I do this regardless of how I feel, regardless of what the result is, regardless if no one likes it, regardless if no one subscribes. I am disciplined to do this and I will keep doing that. And that's how we get through it. So motivation, drive and discipline is better because it implies you and enforces you to do things when you don't feel like doing them. Without, clear reasons to change, people often lack the motivation to take the necessary actions. So this can stem from not seeing immediate benefits or not being emotionally invested. This is the other thing. Be prepared for delayed gratification. Results come over time from consistently doing the same thing, whether it's investing, whether it's working on your relationship, whether it's reading knowledge and learning. You are not going to become a specialist or well-educated without applying over and over and over again. How did I really drive this home for myself? Is I found the discipline and drive for change by actually going, what are the problems? What don't I like? I don't like that I don't have enough time with family. I don't like I don't have enough time with kids. I don't like that I'm working in a job where my time is controlled by them, that the return is time for money, that I'm not getting enough things that I want and enough satisfaction from other pieces, right? So think about that. Number 3, overwhelmed. I don't get over this. I don't think people do. You have tough times and tough days, but most things that are worthwhile come from getting through those obstacles and overcoming them. If you're overwhelmed, it generally means that the magnitude of the task or the number of changes required can feel overwhelming. And people don't often know where to start, or they feel incapable of managing everything at once. This is purely why Fired Up was started, because as I spoke to people and they were complaining about their life, they were complaining about their money, they were complaining about their time, they were complaining about their job, their commute, their boss, I'm like, well, why aren't you doing something about it? And it generally came back to, I wouldn't even know what to do. And if I did, I wouldn't know where to start. And that's when the light bulb went off for me, because it's like, hey, it's just a simple bunch of steps and processes that starts with mindset, that starts with a plan, that starts with actions that are executed consistently over a long period of time. And I thought if we can build that for people to make a one-stop shop and build a community of support, this is going to help people grow, build, start their businesses, and actually get into that life that they want. Number 4, perfectionism. Good old saying, done is better than perfect. Spoke about this in previous episodes as it comes to marketing and putting your brand out there and putting your message out there. Don't worry that it's not perfect. The decision fatigue of doing something delays most great things happening than just making the decision and doing it anyway. Click the button, click the trigger, push the post, make the call. Just be okay to actually go and swing the bat and know that you're going to suck. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be perfect, but you will get better and improve. And the more authentic you are, the more that people are going to understand and relate that anyway. The desire to do things perfectly can lead to procrastination. I've got dozens of stories of people that have actually started a business, built it up, done everything else, and have just not done the next bit of getting it out there, building the community, finding their unique selling proposition, doing the market research. That's where they get stuck because they're worried about it being perfect. Who cares? Do it anyway. It'll work. You'll learn. And by doing, you will be able to get better at it. Number 5, comfort zones. Change is inherently uncomfortable. People prefer to stay in their comfort zones, even if they're unhappy, because it's familiar and it's less stressful than the unknown. You see this all the time where people are like, I hate my job. I don't like it. But what happens when I leave? What if there's no new job? What if I don't like the new job more than the current situation? What if I leave this crappy relationship, which I don't enjoy, but then I'm going to be by myself? Then I don't have someone to go halves in the bills with. This kind of comfort zone stuff really does put people in a situation of not making a decision they have to know. Mick, who came on one of our previous episodes, he said, what is going to happen in this situation? And he's dead right, as you will wait for that catastrophe when the change is forced on you. So what we're trying to do with this and get you to understand in this episode is, if you know that the problem is coming down the line, if you know that the desire to change is there, do it before it becomes not your choice. Like, before you get to hospital to decide to change your healthcare, before you get fired or lose your job through a restructure or redundancy, to go, shit, if I had a sideline business, I wouldn't be so stressed right now. Prepare, plan, make the decision, put it in. Poor time management. This is number 6. Lack of effective time management, that can really result in procrastination. People feel that they don't have enough time or they're too busy and address the issues at hand. 24 hours in a day, you need about 8 to sleep. You probably need 3 or 4 to do traffic, meals, and other bits and pieces. The rest you get to structure the way that you need to structure it to get the results that you need. I love breaking things down to micro doses because how can I get this result in the least amount of time as possible? And simple things, I'm just going to read 10 pages of the book. Do that. Just do 10 pages. Reading the whole book today, the task is too big. You will fail it. You won't get through it. And then you're going to feel that emotional, I knew I would suck and fail anyway. 10 pages of the book, what's that going to take you? 10 minutes max? Great. Then drop down, do your push-ups, 2 minutes. Then go for the walk, 10 minutes. You can actually squeeze a lot in an hour if you have a structured day and a structured week with monthly goals that you are aligning for. Number 7, lack of resources. So sometimes people lack the necessary resources, such as money. They lack the information. They lack the support to make the changes they want. That can really lead to feeling, helpless and create inactivity against those. So we'll talk about how you can address this, but you absolutely can, regardless of the situation that you are in. You can improve yourself at zero cost by getting zero cost resources, by getting zero cost habit changes, by talking to people for zero cost. All of that can come into there. You just need to put that through into the time structure. Number 8, negative self-beliefs. You're not unique by having negative self-beliefs. Everyone does. Even the biggest CEOs, founders, biggest sports stars, everybody has this because it's like, can I do it? Am I able to? And that's one of those things where that low self-esteem or negative self-belief can lead people to doubt their abilities to make changes. This lack of self-confidence can be a significant barrier. So let me come back to the thing. Action creates confidence. You will not be able to build confidence first to take action. So not in my wildest dreams 3 months ago did I think I would be doing a podcast. It's still uncomfortable. I still have limiting beliefs. I still question whether there's value and people like it and everything else. But we will keep going. And every time we do it, we get a little bit better. We learn a little bit more. We get more feedback. And it actually starts to build some of that confidence around what we're giving to our customers and our audience. Immediate gratification. This is so terrible today, particularly in the younger generation. They want things like overnight. It's the 24-hour six-pack abs. It's the, I want to go on 20 dates. I want a girlfriend next week. The people aren't actually prepared to put in the hard work because they want a result immediately. The thing with any type of result, and don't just take my word for it, go on a little research journey, go read a book. The things that are actually built of significance, whether it is your self-care, your relationship, or your business, does take time. Quite often what the audience sees is overnight success. They don't see the 10 years of hard work, late nights, traveling, lack of sleep, sacrifices to get it to that point. They see a great relationship. Oh, you guys are lucky, you're best friends, you get on so well. You haven't seen the previous 15 years of trauma, arguments, sacrifices, everything that we did to get to that point. So think about what's in the front of the window on display for everybody. Yep, cool. But in the background, it's the hard work. Your growth comes through the challenge and the process of going through that journey. Get immediate gratification and cross it off the list. I don't actually need to see a result. what I'm going to do is this activity. I'm going to do this task. I'm going to focus on that outcome. And what you'll see in 6 months is the result. I wish I could bring up like a before and after photo now. Like if I go back to August last year, I think 82 kilos, unhealthy, pot at the front, which I could put my beer on or my coffee. And I was just like 3 months into that, nothing had changed. But month 4, change started being pretty obvious. Month 5, shit, change is actually happening really good. Month 6, everyone's talking about it. Oh, you must start going to the gym last month. No, I don't go to the gym. This is 6 months of consistent action over a week and to a point where you can be happy with it. So I think on that, just to wrap up on that point, is that many people prioritize like short-term pleasures over long-term benefits. Investing, I got, a couple of grand, let's put it in there and try and double it overnight. They're the ones who usually lose their money. You have to consistently put the money in and consistently let it do its thing for the compound interest and growth. It's the same for you. Invest in yourself. 1 book a month, 12 books a year, 36 books over 3 months. That consistent compounding knowledge and growth will sink into you. You will learn from it, and you will actually implement some of the things that you're learning from getting this additional education and people within your network as well. Last point I want to touch on that actually delays people from taking action is the external circumstances. Life events, health issues, family responsibilities, work pressure, they absolutely create genuine barriers to making changes. These external factors can divert focus and energy away from personal goals. One of the things that I've mentioned and tried to apply in my life is actually being able to start to say no to people, because you can't be everything to everybody. And once you have a clear plan on what you want, that means you're going to have to bring new things in that are going to take your time and focus, which means you're going to have to take some things out. So clearly look at the stuff that you are doing or is in your life or where you're spending time and just go, I can probably get rid of that. Even if it's a short term get rid of, I can probably not do that for the next 3 months. I can probably put the phone down when I go to bed so I'm not wasting the time on social, and I can actually read the book. I can dedicate some time to this. I can dedicate some time to that, and it will work, right? So I want to move into the actions now. And again, these resources, they will be on our website and you can get them through our Fired Up Facebook group. So make sure you go and join there. If you are going through this process and you feel stuck, ask the group, ask me, ask us. Hey, I need to set a clear, achievable goals. I don't know where to start. Can anybody help me with this? You'll be inundated with the stuff that people have done, used, the templates, the videos, the people. You'll get it all. So your role in this is just to take that action, okay? To actually go, right, I'm going to do this. Step 1, I need to set clear, achievable goals. How do you do that? There's so many ways you can. We want to find the one that works for you. But if you need some direction and recommendations, you'll get that from the Fired Up Facebook group, and we can point you to the resources on the website to actually download some of these templates and guides to get there. I'd like to thank this episode's sponsor of We Paint Gold Coast for all of your residential, commercial, and body corp needs. Visit them at wepaintgoldcoast.com.au. Number 2, create a daily routine. The reason this is daily is because it is the daily small things that happen over a long period of time that are actually going to get there, right? So what I do and what's worked for us is, what is the plan for the year? Then that's broken down into monthly goals. Then the monthly goals are broken down into daily routines. Because once you take that big thing, for example, one of my goals last month, 2,600 press-ups, it's a big number. That's quite huge. It's hard to achieve, but I can actually do that by doing 100 a day. So daily routine, 100 push-ups. I could even break it down further there. Can't do 100? Cool. 25 in the morning, 25 in the afternoon, 25 in the early evening, and 25 before bed. You're now breaking it down to achievable things that take 30 seconds to do. It's still going to get you to that goal for the month. And then it's month after month after month. The daily routine, bring other parts into it. You probably have a structure here, whereas maybe you've got a daily routine journal, maybe you've got a daily routine list. Your calendar on your phone or your computer can also support this. So 7 to 8 in the morning, as an example, no tech, none of that. That's when I work on my development and my exercise. 30 minutes exercise, 30 minutes reading, learning, podcasting. 9 to 10, engaging with my audience, building the community. 10 to 12, new customers, new client calls, new product, new whatever. Have that structure and then have the discipline in place where it's like, I have to do this. When the reminder goes off, hey, it's 11 to 12, it's customer call time, everything else is out of the way, out of the equation. The environment is set and created for you to do that. What I found by going through this over the last couple of years is like, you look back on the week and go, this is amazing. Like I've done 50 client calls, I've done 500 push-ups, I've spent good time with the kids, I've been on a date with the wife, I've read half of a book, I've done the things. And you actually go, shit, if I compare that to when I wasn't doing this, what was my day like? Woke up, had a coffee, watched the news, which was all fear and uncertainty and doubt and bad news. Then I scrolled social. Then I went to work for 8 hours, came home, sat on the couch, watched a movie, had dinner, went to bed. You will quickly go, how did I used to just do stuff that way? And now I'm doing it this way. And look at what's happening around me that is actually benefiting from that change. Number 3, practice time management. It's the most common excuse that I hear, I don't have time. And I know time is precious, right? But what are you doing with it? And remove the things that don't work and get very clearly aligned, firstly with yourself about what you want to achieve and how you're going to do it. And then bring those close to you on that journey so they know that this is what you do at that time. They know they have to be quiet while you're on client calls. They know Friday night's family night. They know Saturday night's this. They know you have to be clear with your inner circle. Fuck everyone else because that doesn't matter. It doesn't even involve them. They're not going to be here to help you. They're not going to come and save you. They're not going to be the ones that grow your business, buy your product. They're there when you need help and support. You have to expand beyond that and be very clear with it. Time management is high on my top tips of how to put this structure in place. If you have that, put the time in, put the blocks in for what that means. Do it for 7 days. Do it for 7 days. Come back to this video and comment and go, what did this do for you that worked well? What did you do that didn't work well? Would love to hear it. Put it in the Facebook group, whatever, because I'm telling you, it will work. Number 4, develop a growth mindset. And that is, you have to expand your knowledge and learning around things that you want to get better at. Don't overwhelm with this and go, well, hey, I'm a solo entrepreneur. I'm the finance manager, the operations manager. I work on the tools. I do the work. I set the wages. Okay, I get it. But you don't have to get really deep into all avenues of that because you can literally outsource specialists to do the things that you can't do. You should be focusing on only the things that you can do. When it comes to a growth mindset, don't think for a second that you know it all, that you can't improve. Go back to the market research episode. You need to be knowing what's going on in your market, what new technology is coming through, what new products, what services are your competitors offering, what's happening with their pricing, what's happening with their demographic. Continually think, how do I be better today? I'll just come back to some of my goals this month and other months. Like, this month I'll be going on 2 webinars into 1 event. I don't know what the webinar is yet. I don't know what the event is yet, but it will happen. I will find a webinar that relates to what I'm trying to grow and develop. I will go to an event that is going to support me in terms of what I'm trying to grow and develop. Has to become constant and it has to become part of that routine. Number 5, seek support and accountability. Friends and family, they're your biggest fans. They're the ones who always pat you on the back and high five you for having a go and good on you. And look, it looks like you're putting on weight, but don't worry about it. It looks like you're getting unhealthy, but don't worry about it. Looks like the business is failing, but at least you had a go. Don't worry about it. You need to get support and accountability for people who are going to give you the real criticism and constructive feedback and who are going to hold you accountable. And I've put this in other episodes, and I think you can also use the Facebook group for this. Find an accountability partner. Your friends and family might not be running a business like you, with a family like you, with an income like you, in a neighborhood like you, but other people are. So find that person and go out and ask for them. Hey guys, I'm looking for someone that I can work with on this, who we can bounce ideas off with that. I'm looking for someone to go to the gym with. I'm looking for someone who can come to networking events with me. You watch, put that out there, and people will respond or point you in the right direction. It's important because you want to be able to have someone who can actually call you on that stuff. And generally it's better to have those type of people that are either going through the same thing as you or have been there before. I get heaps of advice from people who don't have a podcast on how to run the podcast. I don't care or listen to that. As soon as someone who is running a successful podcast tells me, think about this, try that, here's some feedback on how you're addressing things or talking to guests. Yep, boom, lap it up. I'm like a hot sponge. I'm not just going to listen to it and do nothing. I write it down. I put a plan in place. I learn some more. I practice some more, and then I do it. And then I'm just having a swing at bat, right? Another swing at the bat, another swing at the bat, and it will continually get better. Number 6, limit distractions. There's plenty of distractions in the world today, but I think you can actually approach this quite a few ways. Your environment is very important. Some of the guys I follow, they call this deep work. So if you're in deep work time, get the phone away, get a clear and clean, uncluttered environment so you can be focused on the thing that's right in front of you and nothing else. Okay? So distractions, very hard to do customer calls when you've got 2 young kids screaming in the background and crying and trying to get their food and stuff. You can't do it there. Go somewhere else, find a different environment. If you're trying to read a book or learn, you can't do that at a party. You cannot do that in an environment where you're not going to be focused and absorbing the information. So think about that environment. Is this the right setup for what I'm trying to achieve there? And you can have little different parts of the house, or maybe it's in the car when you're by yourself. That's when you do your podcast and learning. When you go and do the exercise, maybe that's no phone, no podcast, so you can just clearly think and reflect on what you're doing and why you want to do it and the why behind everything else. So distractions are very important because, the email's pinging off, the phone's going off, the phone rings, then the kids yell, then this happens. You've got to just limit all that stuff and get really focused on deep work. Focus on health and well-being. I'm not harping on about this because I'm like, any sort of gym junkie or anything else like that. That's not what it is. I find that the focus on health and well-being, the benefits of that are actually clear thinking. It's a task or a challenge which you can actually achieve, which then makes you comfortable taking on other tasks that you can think and achieve. Some of my best clear thinking time is on those walks. It's just the fresh air. I'm solo, I'm by myself. I can reflect on what's working, what's not. If needed, I can talk to those accountability partners and other influencers who can help me with that type of thing. So that's one part of it because it reflects so much on the rest of your life. It's not about being, Mr. Muscle or Lorna Jane fitness guru. That's not what I'm pushing through here. It just is a good way to get clear mindset, clear progress, focusing on yourself and focusing on this engine that you've got, and you've only got one. So why not try and look after it to live a life that is actually productive and progressive and happy? Number 8, reward your progress. I think that's very important to, once you hit a milestone of these things that you set in place, give yourself a quick reward. Maybe it's like, once I've achieved this, I'm getting myself new running shoes. Once we call 100 clients, then we're going to go and celebrate with dinner. Just put those reward milestones in because it's just a little point of celebration of progress and achievement. And it's really important to have that in there. We do that with our kids, right? If you can do this and you can do that and you do this, then yep, you get the treat. Do it for yourself as well. And then think about what that treat might be. Or that reward might be, so you can aim towards that. Number 9, learn to delegate. And what that means is if you do have an existing team, You need to be just focused on the work that only you can do. If you are working on tasks or projects that someone else could be doing, you need to get that off your plate. Push it to your team or push it to a specialist. Like I said, those outsource platforms, every type of thing that you need done by someone who is qualified, experienced, is out there at a very effective price with a very quick turnaround. So move stuff out. Find your weakness. It's financials. Great. Find someone to do the financials or get a financial structure in place that's going to do that for you. If you are weak with the marketing content, find someone who can produce it for you. Use the simple tools and solutions as well, like AI and the Chat GPT and the other things that are available out there to do it fast and quick. These things are designed and will be designed to remove the technical skill requirement to do stuff. The guy who from NVIDIA, I saw him the other day where they were talking about the fact that you should have your kids learning how to program and code. They are the roles of the future. That's what they should be studying and working on. And he said, totally disagree. The AI will code for you. The AI will program for you. The AI will do the marketing content for you. So this AI is actually taking away the limitation that we had so all people can access and use these types of things. That's amazing. Think about that and get ready to reflect and adjust on it. That is the final point, actually. Reflect and adjust. Always look back at what you have achieved and what you've done. How does it feel? What are the results? And adjust. You can change the plan, just don't change the goal. So if you're quickly smashing out those 100 client calls, cool, make it 120. Once you've got that nailed down and nailed packed, ask yourself, is this work that someone else could be doing? Great, create the training plan, create the script, get someone else to do that so you can focus back on growing the business. Let's wrap up this episode and recap. These are the 10 actions against the 10 problems that you need to put in. Please do this for a 30-day challenge and feedback to us on the group, whatever channel you want, on how this has worked out for you. So number 1 was fear of failure. Reframe failure as a learning opportunity. Failure is good because it means you're progressing. Reframe what you're telling yourself. I'm scared of failure. Nah, I'm prepared to learn. That's what it is. Number 2, lack of motivation. Clarify your why. If you understand why you're doing it and what the result can be, that's how you'll get the discipline and drive to go towards it consistently. Number 3, getting overwhelmed. Break tasks down into smaller chunks. To do 4 marathons this year, break it down to a month, break it down to a week, break it down to a day. Do the smaller chunks. They're more achievable. You will do it. You will win and you'll get progression. Perfectionism. Nothing is perfect. It will never be perfect. You never get to that point, so stop trying to achieve it. Go for good enough. Just hit and go and learn and then develop and build it from there. Number 6, comfort zones. If you are not in an uncomfortable space, you are not growing and stretching. Source it out, do uncomfortable things that will build your confidence, which will enable you to actually take more action. Number 6 is poor time management. Structure your day, daily routine. Don't just let the day happen to you, control the day. Put things into blocks and then execute those blocks in structure. Do that for 7 days. Tell us how that went. Lack of resources, whether that's money, whether it's learning, whether it's network, go and start to build those things out. Put the task in place to connect with X amount of new people, to learn X amount of new things, and put some financial goals behind what that means as well. Number 7, lack of resources. Number 8, negative self-belief. This is a really tough one. I understand that, but you will get removal of some of the negative self-belief as you progress and change this. So apply number 1 to 7 to start to remove that negative belief. Number 9, immediate gratification does not happen. Hard work over a long period of time in any aspect of your life will get results over the long term. Think compounding interest, compounding effort, compounding activity. That will get you there. Number 10 is the external situations. This is the out of our control stuff. I know that it happens, but when you have these external situations in your family and your life and your business and your job, easiest way to go about it, write down what the concerns are and the decision points. Now cross off what's out of your control and then just focus what is in your control. That's it for this episode. I think you'll find that most things that could be great or amazing, the things that you could achieve to your full potential if you really tried, are stuck by this procrastination and stuck with the negative belief and stuck with the resources. Just try the 30 days. Try the 30 days, put this stuff into place, and you will see that it does make a massive impact. Stick around for future episodes because we're going to give you actual practical tips, tools, and techniques on how you can focus on these individual buckets to actually bring it all together. Catch you later. If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe on YouTube or follow our podcast on your favorite platform. We drop a new episode every week. You'll be doing us a massive favor. If you know someone that would benefit from listening to this, then share it with them. You'll be doing them a massive favor. And if you want the tips, tools, and resources to support you on this journey, then join our exclusive Facebook community and follow our socials. You'll be doing yourself a massive favor.